Weekend was a weekend to get some positivity out there as well. Positive thinking, positive actions, and to try to get rid of the negative that's been plaguing our society, the violence, especially violence against women. And this weekend was a weekend for that. Various organizations across the country mobilized this weekend. And it just so happened that it coincided with the start of Lent as well. And one of those, we heard Pastor Doughton come in just last week talking to us about it and alerting us that this was going to happen and, inviting citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to be a part of it. And that was the Heerah Land, a cry for justice. And it did take place this weekend. Operation Salvation was actually a whole part of this. And Ghenere Heerah is here to tell us a little bit more about what happened this weekend. And I'm hoping that it was highly successful.
Oh, yes.
So good morning to you, Ghenere.
Good morning to you. Good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you so much for having me here this morning. How are you doing?
Really good to have you. And you look bright and chipper after, I'm sure, would have been a hectic weekend.
Oh, yes, it was. But, at the end of the day, it was a success, and that's important. So yesterday you saw, well, as you mentioned, Heerah Land, where you saw the mobilization of all the churches, the denominations coming together for the cry against domestic violence and violence in the country. I mean, we're tired of always hearing, oh, we need to make a difference, and the cry for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, where you saw that what is the church doing, what is the church role, but we clearly made that stand yesterday, where you saw everyone coming together to contribute to this difference against this violence right now in Trinidad and Tobago.
So it was a success.
It was a success. Right. We had approximately to 10,000 people there at the square, all in white, so you could have seen, the dynamic impact that it made, not just people just attending, but also coming together for this cause.
Particularly for this to end violence, especially with International Women's Day coming up as well.
Exactly, and a lot of the violence was against women, so it is really that specific thing that not only with women, because sometimes we're really tired always hearing against women and all these different things, but even the kids and also the men, but yeah.
Okay, great. Now we do have Pastor Keynes on the line of Faith Assembly International. So good morning to you, sir.
Yes, good morning to the panel there and
so glad to have you with us this morning. Tell us about Operation Salvation and what happened.
Okay, Operation Salvation, number one, is a faith-based NGO, which we have been operating from within the movement lab until East Port of Spain for about 14 years now. We have been networking with churches and ministries. Also, the Intelligence Task Force, the police department, Hearts and Minds, they have been working with us. So we decided to expand, and the whole idea of going, becoming more involved in our nation because of the crime and violence. So yesterday was tremendous. We had many churches and ministries that came together to unite ourselves to pray and also to follow the prayer by action within our nation so we could fight against the Goliath of crime and violence.
A lot of the time, you hear that it's a lot of the youth who are getting involved in unfortunate illegal activities. Did you see a lot of the youth? Were you able to draw many youth to the Operation Salvation that took place over the weekend?
Yes, a lot of youth were there, and especially, but most of them would have been from different churches, and because we have a lot of young people in our assemblies, and some of them would have been involved in crime and so on, but they have made a change, a transformation, because we do believe that that there's a God above, and God has created each and every one of us for a purpose. Sometimes, some of us stray, but we believe the whole idea of transformation. So there are many youth out there.
What is some of the work that you're trying to do in the communities that you mentioned?
Excuse me?
Some of the work that you're trying to do in the communities.
All right. Well, one of the main things, because we had some strategic workshops, and one of the main thing that we really decided on, that the churches must become a mediation hub. Because our country has developed to be a very violent country, and if you see even on our roads while driving, you will realize that too. So what we have decided that we want to make the churches to be very much strong within the community, and see how we can have a platform, create a platform for mediation, so we could curb the violence and bring peace, and continue to work within our community so we can even, as it would, take back our blocks, even from the drugs and different other things. And we very much out there as a light shining in our community.
So what do you intend to do next? I mean, this was a grand thing, you know, as Ghenere was telling us. You know, many people came out, over 10,000, she said. So what's next?
All right. Before I go further, I must let you know that I was also waiting on Tobago. It was a joint initiative, one in James Park in Tobago and also one in Woodford Square.
Right.
So the whole idea is, and Tobago also strategizing too, the whole idea is that one of the main things that we want to do, this is like a bomb drop, but the Marines have to go in and do the work. We want to be very much vigilant within our communities. But coming up next, we would like to go in south and keep kind of to different parts of the country and keep mobilizing, as it were, the troops. So unifying ourselves. We say we can't stop. We can't stop. This has to be a great movement. We thank God for the protective services, but I believe the time has come for the churches to unite, and let's see how we can really work and give that support and bring that healing within our great Twin Island Republic nation, Trinidad and Tobago.
Now, you mentioned that it took place in Tobago, and it did slip me that it did take place in Tobago as well, because it was Trinidad and Tobago. Do you have any reports of what the response was like in Tobago?
Yes, the persons would have been coordinated the Tobago aspect. Yes, the state was good. Even the chief secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, he was there together with some of his colleagues. They were there together with pastors and churches members who came out. And then understand it was fantastic. They were very much enthusiastic about the whole idea, and they want to continue in that quarterly, right in James Park there.
All right, so great. So we're looking forward to more of these activities, you getting into more of the communities as well. Have you thought about starting any programs apart from just talking to the communities and that sort of thing, but starting maybe programs with the youth in those communities as well?
Well, to be honest, the church, you know, there are many churches who have been involved in the whole community life with different, you know, activities, ministry activities, right? But what we realize that the thing is having a unified effort. So Operation Salvation, because we have been operating in Movement Love until for many years, so we have gone beyond our boundaries now and see how we could create that platform for networking, so bringing the different activities, groups, the ministries, groups, those will be contributing in different areas like this. For instance, you have the victim support, you have groups who already see about children, also groups about youth, who really minister to youth. So the different groups, in fact, Operation Salvation, we have been operating about 7 years now. My wife mainly spearheaded a trauma ministry in the school system that because you know crime affects even the children, victims of crime, and they will come up. And this is one of the problems we realize in analyzing that children who parents, fathers maybe would have gone down. They realized that these children grew up and they grew up with vengeance in their hearts. So we created this ministry called Pearls that I thank God for the principals and so on, will allow us to come into the school system and do ministry with those children and sort of counsel them. Some of the persons who do that, they would have gone through some 2 weeks of training by a psychologist, recognized psychologist, and they in the schools, even up to this day, we have this ministry to really minister to children.
All right, now Ghenere, I know we were talking earlier as well, and it's basically the Christian religions who were part of this. You want to include the other religions as well, or was there a call made for the other religions as well, or just Christian for now to start?
Well, Operation Salvation, the foundation is Christ. So we extended the entire Christian fraternity to come. I guess maybe, you know, the heads with Pastor Keynes and stuff like that, we will look into the other religions and stuff like that, but understanding the foundation of what Operation Salvation stands for, that's the stand that we took yesterday.
Okay. And Pastor Keynes, I'm sure that you're going to invite the other religions as well once you get a firmer footing in everything that's taking place.
Well, again, as General has already highlighted, the whole idea of that within our foundation, we hold to, you know, it's a biblical principle where we sort of gather the you know, churches from different denominations who will just come together on this platform as we work together.
All right. All right. I want to thank you so much for taking the time
Oh,
for
no
talking
problem.
with us, Pastor Keynes, and I do wish you all the best of luck with this as you forge ahead. I know that you're going to continue throughout the
yes.
year
Yes.
as well. You're not stopping.
Yes. Okay. You know, we're not going to stop at all. We're going to advance.
No, we need to forge ahead. So thank you so much, Pastor Keynes, Faith Assembly
you.
International, and Ghenere Heerah, the Operation Salvation. Of course, you coordinated basically everything.
Well, yes,
as
I assisted, I assisted
Yeah.
alongside a lot of the event planners and, the stage managers and stuff, so it was really a success. Not to mention also the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Stephen Williams, also attended together with our Fire Chief Service Officer. So you saw where Tobago and the state officials and the government officials really did take a stand also against this domestic violence, saying that this is really the solution we have right now in Tobago.
And did they speak?
Yes, he spoke, and I really wanted to highlight that, yes, he spoke very well, and we do agree with the things that he highlighted, understanding that this is a stand that we have to take with God against this. I mean, the government is trying, and yes, we do partner with them also, but we do have to make a stand, and it's not just saying, oh, I'll pray for you, have faith. No, it's literally walking the talk, instead of just saying, I'll pray for you and I'll pray for the country. So we do extend and encourage the whole of Tobago to make a stand against this in your religions, and also with us, and standing with Christ against this domestic violence from Tobago. So thank you so much again.
Thank you so much for being with us. Ghenere Heerah from Operation Salvation. I'm trying to say it so quickly and just tripping over myself. Operation Salvation. And of course, Pastor Keynes of the Faith Assembly International. All part of this. There's going to be more. Get on board with it. It's to help Trinidad and Tobago, and especially in light of International Women's Day coming up as well.
Yes.